Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Black Basket. Master of opening pass control, with hair color. Duan Tang travels through the world of black baskets. I have become a junior high school player named Yukiya, and the good news is that I carry a system with me and my hair has color. The bad news is that, not in the era of Emperor Guang, but in the same generation as the Miracle Generation, it is now the third grade of junior high school where all members of the Miracle Generation have blossomed and completed. Xuegong and Zhen said. Xuegong and Zhen. 6. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 001. Hair has color at the beginning, and the future is promising. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xuegong, get ready to warm up, it's your turn to go. The dazzling incandescent light and deep whispers from the ear pulled Duan Tang's scattered attention back to reality. Open your eyes. An old face with a gloomy expression and a hint of anger caught the eye, while behind the old man with white hair was the indoor basketball court that Duan Tang was very familiar with. Duan Tang, sitting on the bench, looked at the players who were clearly immature on the field and looked bewildered. What is the situation? Dreaming. Where is this? Senior Xuegong. Hurry up and get ready to warm up. Judging from the coach's expression, it's about to explode. The young man sitting next to Duan Tang, who was clearly one head shorter than him, saw that he seemed to be distracted and quickly reminded him. The boy was not speaking Chinese, but Duan Tang immediately understood the foreign language. Then, his brain suddenly felt a sharp pain, and countless memories poured out from deep in his mind. Heizi's basketball. Surprisingly, I have traveled to this manga world that I have read many times and become a junior high school student in the same year as the Miracle Generation. Xuegong and Zhen. 15 years old. Height 184 centimeters. I am currently a third-year student at Baishuiguan High School in Tokyo, and a key power forward in the basketball department. Recently, I accidentally injured during training, so I have been sitting on the bench in this friendly match with other schools. From the vast amount of memories that did not belong to him, Duan Tang quickly captured the information that was currently useful to him. And then, it became even more obscure. Tokyo District. Baishuiguan Middle School, 3rd grade. Junior high school students of the same generation as the Miracle Generation. Good guy, the buffs are stacked full. Is there any more fun here? Compared to high school, the Miracle Generation of junior high school is an absolute blow to the junior high school basketball industry. Not to mention the 3rd grade of junior high school, where the miraculous generation of all members bloomed and ended. If you belong to the same Tokyo area as Emperor Guang, you may not even be able to make it to the regional qualifiers of the All-China Conference. It would be okay to start with a nationwide grudge when crossing the country. Duan Tang shook his head in silence. The hasty passage made his brain freeze for a while. But soon. Damn it. What action is this? With the scolding of the old coach on the sidelines, Duan Tang's brain and body quickly resumed functioning. The coach's scolding was not directed at Duan Tang, who had slowed down several shots, but at the current situation on the field. In a fast break, player number 7 from Baishuiguan dribbled the ball and made a layup. The opposing defender from Yamamoto High School grabbed player number 7 with both arms and made a powerful and heavy drop, knocking him down to the ground. This ignited the old man's temper and also ignited the anger of the players at the Whitewater Hall on the field. The scene was a bit chaotic for a moment. The referee and the basketball team on the sidelines intervened on the court, finally stabilizing the players on both sides and also stabilizing the irritable coach at Baishuiguan High School. After cursing at the other coach's seat for a while, the old man turned his head again and shouted in the direction of Duan Tang, "Stinky kid, your hand injuries are all healed. Go on and teach them a good lesson." Duan Tang touched his left arm, which had recovered well from the injury, nodded at the coach, and then stood up and walked towards the direction of the court. Although he had not fully adapted to the identity of Xuegong and Zhen, he still waited until he had finished his current tasks before considering anything else. Looking at Xuegong and Zhen's back, the coach frowned strangely. I always feel like this kid who used to be quite carefree has become a bit different today. Black basket. After walking onto the court, Duan Tang couldn't help but let out a sigh in his heart. And this emotion intensified as my gaze shifted downwards, as I caught a glimpse of the slightly reflective court floor under the incandescent light, and the white-haired guy clearly reflected on it. My hair is still colored. A snow-like color. It is also quite compatible with the name Xuegong and Zhen. Good news +1 at this time, it should be called Xuegong and Zhen Duan Tang, and there is a vague expectation for it. As for now, he played basketball a lot during his student days, and after entering society, his theoretical knowledge was also very rich. However, after crossing over, with the body inherited from Xuegong and Zhen, I don't know what level of strength it can have. At least dealing with such informal friendly matches should not be a big problem. It's not a big problem. Approximately. Senior Xuegong. Senior Xuegong, you can finally play. Xuegong and Zhen met up with their teammates on the field, and soon two sophomore teammates walked over to greet them with great respect, which is normal in Sakura country. After all, he is a senior in 3rd grade and wearing the number 5 jersey, second only to captain number 4. Facing the greetings of the younger generation, Xuegong and Zhen did not respond immediately. Because a strange noise suddenly appeared in his mind. Buzzing, a happy expression couldn't help but leap over Xuegong's face. He knew that it was impossible to travel without following the golden finger. Host login detected, meditation training system officially launched, automatically load opening badge rewards. Badge loading completed. Received badge. Transmission master, passing. 6393, ball control. 5896, woohoo. Xuegong and Zhen's tense mood suddenly stabilized. Although I haven't seen any other attributes of myself yet, having a passing ability of over 90, providing assists to teammates, and stable and error-free ball control can at least ensure my positive impact on the field. Wait, not right. Do you seem to be a power forward? Adhere to originality and eliminate non-compliant commitment letters. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 002. How did the ball pass through on Earth? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The coach at Baishuiguan High School clearly felt that Xuegong and Zhen were not in the right state today, but he didn't think much about it, only thinking it was a lack of confidence after recovering from injury. Immediately, he reminded the sidelines, Xuegong, pay attention to your rebounds and control your mistakes after playing. In his opinion, Xuegong and Zhen, as a power forward in the middle level of the country, although they have good height and athletic ability, have technical problems. As the main power forward of Baishuiguan, he excels in excellent defense and rebounding. On the other side, Xuegong and Zhen nodded when they heard the coach's words. At this point, the game is at the beginning of the 4th quarter, and high school basketball is not a professional 12-minute section, but a 10-minute section. There are still about 8 minutes left until the end of the game. The score on the field is 68.62. Baishuiguan Middle School, where Xuegong is located, leads by 6 points. Baishuiguan missed the free throw on this side, and the team's 4th center, Yaki Takedo, grabbed the rebound and passed it to the outside for a second attack. The round at Baishuiguan High School. The opponent's defense line rushed out and the pressure was quite fierce. At number 7 Baishuiguan, a sophomore player who had just been fouled by a big move, Yukiya tightly protected the basketball. Pass the ball. The sudden cry from the ear saved Yukiya, who was in a dilemma. However, after he passed the ball and saw the target clearly, his face suddenly turned pale. Senior Xuegong. How did he run to this position to catch the ball? Daisuke Sugiyama is well aware that the expertise of Senior Yukiya on the court definitely does not include dribbling. Even in less urgent environments, his possession and attack are quite worrying, and it is quite common for him to have two dribbles interrupted. Of course, on the field, each player is good at different things. Senior Xuegong is good at inside crouching defense, or providing pick and roll cover for teammates. The senior himself is also very clear about his own strengths, so it has been a long time since he ran to the outside to actively demand the ball. After receiving the ball, Xuegong and Zhen stood in place and dribbled better than ever before. Xuegong slightly observed the distribution of players on the field, and instinctively, several passing routes suddenly appeared in his mind. This is it the badge of the transmission master. It's great to blend in with myself, Snow Palace and True Eyes shine brightly. A surge of confidence flashed through his mind. Faced with the pressure from the opposing player, he skillfully dribbled the ball from behind, and in an instant, the ball and the person merged, effortlessly breaking through the path. Then he pushed the ball with his left hand, followed closely with his footsteps, and quickly shot towards the inside line. Under the basket, the center forward of Baishuiguan and the captain of the fourth team, Yasuki Takedo, looked at the basketball style that was completely different from that of Yukiya and Shin. Before he could be surprised, he was surprised to find that the basketball had passed through the opponent's defense line and accurately passed to his chest. This receiving point take the opportunity to raise your hand and hit the board into the basket. 70.62, in front of the substitute bench at the Whitewater Hall off the field, Coach Shin Matsuji suddenly widened his eyes. On the bench, the third-grade players who were quite familiar with Xuegong and Zhen were even more stunned. Ah! What is the situation? What did Xuegong do during his injury? He dribbled so hard. Also, how did this ball pass through on earth? Coach Shin Matsuji scratched his graying hair and couldn't help but be surprised. He didn't talk about his previous dribbling, but this pass was really beautiful. Accurately penetrating the opponent's entire defense, the ball shrank in the moment just now. In the crowded inner line, there were three opposing players. Any slight deviation of the ball could not reach the hands of Yaki Takedo under the basket. Even Xuegong's pass also considered the receiving point. That perfect position allowed Takedo Yasuki to make no further adjustments and launch an attack with his hand raised. The opponent's defense, which was drawn by Snow Palace's attention, had no time to make up for it. Transferred fast and wonderful. What's going on, little devil? He couldn't even practice so hard before, he's a complete blue-collar player. After being injured, suddenly my mind opened up. As the coach of Baishuiguan, Shin Matsuji is too aware of Yukiya and Shin's abilities. This level of passing and dribbling is completely beyond Yukiya and Shin's abilities. Is it a coincidence that just met? Both sides are attacking and defending Ibian. Opponent Yamamoto High School serves from the baseline. However, the retreat speed on this side of Baishuiguan was quite fast, which contained the fast attack and forced the opponent into the entanglement of positional warfare. Yamamoto 6 and 7 provided cover at the top of the three-point arc, but Yukiya and Shin could tell at a glance that this move was just a cover. Because the quality is not high, intentionally leaving some space is clearly to compress the defense line on the Baishuiguan pavilion side, in order to create opportunities for long-range shooting. Next second. Number 6 was indeed a fake breakthrough move, and then it was passed back to number 7, who was moving towards the back. At this moment, a figure wearing a light blue team uniform suddenly crossed the line between the two. My hair is as white as snow. Number 5 Baishuiguan. Xuegong and Zhen. Chapter 001. Hair has color at the beginning, and the future is promising. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 003. Senior, Baishuiguan still hides this kind of. You are listening at novelfull.audio. To be honest, both Yukiya and Makoto were surprised that the ball could be successfully broken. The badge of the Master of Passing and Control, in which the vision and awareness brought by passing ability are not only reflected in the attacking end. In terms of defense, he also showed excellent results. Almost at the moment when Yamamoto High School made a cover move, Yumiya and Shin immediately made a judgment. The opponent's pick and roll is just a feint, and the breakthrough of number 6 is a fake move, leaving room for pick and roll. Number 7 is likely not to go down, and Yamamoto High School will play a long-range attack. This is the reading competition ability indirectly brought about by the Master of Communication and Control. Pop. Xuegong and Zhen completed this sudden snatch in everyone's surprised sight. And then he rushed away at the forefront. The response from Shenzhen Middle School is also not slow, and the number 7 closest to the periphery immediately followed up to pursue. Although this number 7 is only about 175 centimeters tall, its speed is quite fast. Xuegong and Zhen did not make a significant turn of their head to observe, relying solely on their peripheral vision and previous position judgment when intercepting the ball. They easily locked in their teammates who were also following and coordinating. There was a very short tremor between the wrists, and the basketball flashed an orange light in the air. A pass passed without looking at anyone, accurately passing through number 7 of Yamamoto High School and reaching number 8 of Baishuiguan. It was in the hands of point guard Haruki Yuji. This pass was still extremely expressive, and although Yuji Hiroi scored a layup in the end, everyone's attention was focused on Yuji Shimiya in an instant. From Baishuiguan Pavilion. Snow Palace and Zhen. Senior, Baishuiguan Pavilion still hides this kind of ace. No. Xuegong and Zhen were just players with average skills and good athletic abilities before, at least they were still like this last year. Ah. I didn't attend the first 3 sections. I heard I got injured during training. As the opponent at Yamamoto High School, there was a lot of discussion about the substitute seat. 72.62, after Xuegong came on the field, Baishuiguan scored 2 goals in a row, and the difference had already reached double digits. Pretty coach Shin Matsuji on the sidelines excitedly waved his fist. He can be certain that Xuegong and Zhen now have excellent vision and passing ability. Although he didn't understand why Xuegong suddenly underwent such a degree of transformation, after the emergence of monsters like the miracle generation in the junior high school basketball industry, Shin Matsuji felt that such incomprehensible things were also very common. On the field, Chunri Yuer looked at his senior with a strange expression on his face. Just now, senior, he definitely didn't look at me, did he? How did you find me on Earth? The round at Yamamoto High School. The lesson from just 2 rounds made Yamamoto clearly feel that the opponent's number 5, Xuegong, is really unusual. Yamamoto number 6 handed the ball to number 8. As a point guard, Yamamoto number 8's dribbling ability is quite outstanding, especially good at dribbling and breaking through. In the first 3 quarters when Yukiya didn't play, relying on his excellent breakthrough ability, he created a considerable threat to Baishuiguan. A person's front cross-step transformation. Shenzhen number 8 broke through Chunri Yuji's defense and plunged into the interior. But Yaki Takedo's defense speed on the inside line is very fast, while on the other side, Uzumi, who is also in the inside line, has assisted in defense with excellent overall perspective and blocked the opponent's passing path in advance. In this way, Yamamoto 8 can only complete the attack on its own. Faced with Yaki Takedo, who is close to 190 centimeters tall, Yamamoto 8 launched a highly curved throw. Boring. A crisp sound. The basketball bounced high after hitting the basket. Yaki Takedo grabbed the rebound with a long arm. At the first moment of landing, he instinctively went to find the location of Snow Palace and Zhen. At this moment, Xuegong had already taken a step forward and jumped out of the field, and Takedo Yashu didn't hesitate to throw the ball over. Upon seeing this, Chunri Yuer's face froze for a moment, followed by a hint of bitterness. I am clearly the point guard. Xuegong received the ball, but Yamamoto High School's retreat was still very fast. The 6th and 8th followed on both sides of Xuegong and Zhen, and observed the situation on the field a little. Now in the front field, it is 3v3, with a strong vision, allowing him to instantly find the attacking route. The sudden big step forward, coupled with the rapid start-stop sequence, immediately focused the defense of Yamamoto High School on him. Then, he turned his head to look at his own number 6 Hua Yinliang, and the opponent's number 6 reflexively rushed towards him. However, during the process of dribbling between the legs, Xuegong suddenly flicked his fingertips and passed the ball to the other side's number 7, scoring guard Daisuke Akiyama. This pass immediately caused the entire stadium to exclaim in surprise. At the moment the ball was passed, under the influence of the Master of Passing and Control badge, although Daisuke Akiyama's receiving point was not his area of expertise in shooting, he immediately felt the empty space of the ball when the ball slipped and he grabbed it. Schwa! The basketball drew an orange arc in the air and landed in a hollow net. 74.62, the coach at Yamamoto High School immediately waved and called for a pause. On the field, Captain Yasuki Takedo walked over and patted Snow Palace's shoulder. Hajin, what's the situation? Suddenly, passing and dribbling are so powerful. During the hand injury period, I did a little research. Xuegong and Zhen thought for a moment and thought about the meditation training system. Although I don't know the specific situation yet, I think it's best to lay the groundwork for the system as much as possible. Recently, I found a training that is very suitable for me. Yaki Takedo nodded. Although the increase in the strength of the Snow Palace was quite outrageous, it was not surprising compared to the miraculous generation that underwent super evolution every year. After all, just looking at their physique, the black skin ace from Xuegong in last year's Emperor Guang High School, whose strength skyrocketed to a terrifying level, is actually quite close. Chapter 002. How did the ball pass through on Earth? You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 004. Control Guard Genius, Xuegong and Zhen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When the players from Baishuiguan High School returned to the bench, the voices of the substitute players immediately became even more heated. Senior Xuegong is so strong. He dribbles and passes the ball exceptionally well. It feels like after he comes on the field, we've become a different team. Yeah, did you see that pass that didn't look at people? It was completely passed to the other side of the field of view. Isn't the senior a power forward? Yes. Is that right? Faced with the doubts of the freshmen, the other veteran team members were actually at a loss. As a coach, Shin Matsuji's shock level during the previous few offensive and defensive rounds was definitely much higher than that of his own players. Because he can completely confirm that Xuegong, with his power forward physique, has the ability of point guard and far exceeds the level of national middle level. Faced with pressure, he has a very comfortable dribbling ability, a broad vision, a gentle passing ability, and a style of playing with assists as the first priority. He even possesses a passing imagination that most point guards do not possess. Wait, damn it. It's been 2 years, why haven't I noticed any talent from this little ghost? Are you blinded by your height? But I am definitely not that shallow, coach. Forget it. Anyway, he's definitely a point guard genius. Xuegong, come here. Shin Matsuji's face, covered in fine lines of time, showed a kind smile, which made the players around the white water pavilion shiver. Xuegong and Zhen were called over, and then they heard Shinmatsu say, next, when attacking, you control the ball. You performed well on the field just now, just keep it up. As for the others. Continue to run according to the tactics we have always been good at. When defending, Xuegong, you are still standing as a power forward. Although your passing and control are still. Okay, don't let go of your defense skills. After listening to Shin Matsuji's words, Haruki Yuji's face became even more bitter as a control guard. Quickly, the pause has ended. Yushu. Xuegong and Zhen came to Yushu Takedo's side and whispered, "Prepare to catch the ball and attack later. The inside line of Yamamoto on the opposite side cannot stop you." Yaki Takedo nodded, realizing that Snow Palace had indeed undergone significant changes, and even his personality had become much more stable and reliable. "Do you need me to provide you with cover? If you want, just give me a signal." "Okay." Xuegong and Zhen slapped Takedo Yasuki, and inexplicable thoughts flashed through their minds. Although I have always heard about the high level of sports infrastructure in Little Cherry Blossom's area before, it is only after experiencing it firsthand that I truly feel it. The atmosphere is indeed quite good. After playing the round at Yamamoto High School, the opposing point guard is holding the ball, while Chunri Yuji, who is defending in front of him, is working even harder in defense because he has just been stripped of his organizational skills by the coach. Shanjen number 8 dribbled the ball, and Chunri Yuer was highly focused. Although facing a point guard who was good at changing direction and breaking through quickly, his frequency couldn't keep up with his feet, but his hands were always trying to interfere with the opponent's dribbling. The point guard at Yamamoto High School was tightly entangled and could only choose to let others attack, handing the ball to the small forward on the flank. After receiving the ball, number 6 immediately started from a 3-threat position and dribbled to a quick stop jump shot at the edge of the paint area. The basketball crossed the defense of Takedo Yushu and stumbled into the basket. Barely broke the scoring drought since Yukiya and Shin came on stage. The round at Baishuiguan High School. Amidst the surprised gazes of the Yamamoto crowd, Yukiya and Makoto caught the ball and pushed forward from the baseline. After being stunned for a moment, the opposing control guard immediately grabbed and pressed, but was shaken by a slight sideways thrust from Xuegong. At a height of 184 versus 172, there is a visible gap between the two in terms of physical confrontation ability, and under the influence of the badge, the ball control ability skyrocketed to 96 points, allowing Xuegong to fully and freely utilize this physical advantage during dribbling. Pretty coach Shin Matsuji on the sidelines had more wrinkles on his face, and he didn't expect that after Yukiya's dribbling ability improved, he would have such a pragmatic style without showing off his skills. If Snow Palace can maintain this level and is lucky enough not to collide with God's light in advance, then this year's White Water Pavilion may once again enter the All-China competition, and even have great potential in the All-China competition. Under the guidance of Xuegong and Zhen, Takedo Yushu came to the top of the arc to do a check and remove. Snow Palace swept past the defense and reached directly under the basket. The defense of the opponent's power forward clearly cannot keep up with Xuegong, there is no way, and the center forward can only come over to assist in defense. Just a momentary defensive miss, he was immediately spotted by the peripheral vision of Xuegong. He maintained the movement of his shoulder and neck, without any movement of his gaze. With a flick of his left hand, the basketball bounced to the ground and passed through the gap between the opponent's two-player pincer shots. Xuanxia Zhuding Yushu once again received Snowy Palace and true ball. Still comfortable enough to pass without any adjustment. I let out a powerful cry from the bottom of my heart. Takedo Yasuki took advantage of the situation and completed a luxurious dunk for junior high school students. Beautiful, and true. Wow. Great transmission, Senior Xuegong. Coach Shin Matsuji. We've already had 4 assists, so fast. From the start of the game, every ball has created excellent attacking opportunities, and in terms of passing alone, it is undoubtedly top-notch, not to mention his skillful use of vision while passing. That's talent. Chapter 003. Senior, Baishuiguan still hides this kind of ace. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 005. The most promising year. It's 198.8 now. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The competition is continuing. On the offensive end, with the assistance of Xuegong and Zhen, Baishuiguan High School presented an overwhelming advantage in the scene. Xuegong and Zhen, who controlled the lightning on the field, couldn't control their excitement with a smile on their face. The basketball was controlled between his hands like an arm, and under different conditions on the court, he could always easily and comfortably deliver the ball to his teammates. This is an experience he has never had so far while playing basketball. The coach of Yamamoto High School's face gradually darkened. In his plan, the fourth quarter was the stage of Yamamoto High School's comeback, but due to the appearance of Yukiya and Shin, his entire plan was completely interrupted. The team manager, who was responsible for recording data, suddenly said in a deep voice from the side, "This guy has received 9 assists since the fourth quarter. In less than a quarter of time. However, so far, Xuegong and Zhen have not scored. Perhaps he doesn't have much offensive ability besides passing and controlling." The manager's words lit up the eyes of the coach at Yamamoto High School. That's right. It must be. If a junior high school player has the ability, there is no one who doesn't want to score on their own. Immediately, he called a pause, and when laying out the tactics, there was only one core: mark the others for me, let number 5 attack with the ball on his own. Let him shoot from a distance. Pause ends. The attack at Shenzhen High School, under the pressure of continuous easy scoring at Baishuiguan, was already somewhat confused, and this attack still did not score. Then, the tall and snowy number 5 on the opposite side pushed forward with great pressure. Xuegong and Zhen. Xuegong and Zhen stood at the top of the arc with a surprised expression on their faces. Was it released? The distance behind number 8 on the opposite side is a bit far. It's a sudden drop shot, so I feel like I didn't shoot. You have a bad idea. We have come through the era of small balls. Moreover, after experiencing social abuse, playing wild games on a regular basis is also a way to practice and maintain health through open space shooting. The muscle strength of the arms is quite similar. Although the similarity in strength between an adult and a junior high school student makes him a bit shy, at this time, he can also adapt to his previous shooting experience. The space he was placed far away, combined with his height advantage, gave him ample preparation time. He glanced at the basket and took a shot. Next second, that orange basketball drew a beautiful arc in the air. Schwa. Respond and enter the network. Coach Yamamoto on the sidelines glanced at the team manager and then stubbornly turned back. The manager looked straight at the field, his gaze fixed, afraid of meeting his own coach. At this point, Xuegong and Zhen, who scored 3 points with 9 assists and 1 break, had become the absolute core of Baishuiguan High School. After scoring the goal, everyone praised his shooting. Projection ability. Coach Shin Matsuji looked at Yukiya and Shin with a burning gaze. Leaving aside strength, this improvement is definitely at the level of those little monsters like Emperor Guan. I didn't expect it. There will be geniuses of this level under one's own subordinates. Last year's Qingfeng Dawei, the other miraculous generations that have fully evolved this summer, coupled with the sudden burst of Snow Palace and Zhen, perhaps there is indeed some magic in this period of time this year. Next, Shenzhen High School, who did not believe in evil, was unexpectedly beaten to the head after executing 3 consecutive tactics of attacking Snow Palace. 1 3-run, 1 long 2-run, and a brilliant assist to break through the basket. Xuegong and Zhen ended the game in the final stage with one hand. 91.69, Baishuiguan High School won the training match against Yamamoto High School at their own training venue. The competition is over. After a friendly farewell to the disheartened Yamamoto High School. Regarding the devil, Shin Matsuji, who can be regarded as the coach of Emperor Guang Platinum Farming, let out a high-pitched demonic voice. Everyone, including the players who have completed the training match, should finish their physical training. Today can be the end. Captain Judan, you are responsible for supervising. Yes, coach. The tall Takedo Yeshu frowned at the team members behind him, showing a hint of helplessness with a bitter smile. Everyone, let's practice. Those who fall last need to practice more. Yes. Everyone immediately turned around to start physical training. Actually, the so-called physical training is running laps. After everyone started training, Coach Shinmatsu's gaze was always focused on Yukiya and Shin, and he fell into a quiet contemplation. After determining the abilities of Xuegong and Zhen, all subsequent plans may need to be replanned. Maybe this is the most hopeful year. However, if Yukiya and Masayoshi knew what the coach was thinking at the moment, they would probably immediately raise a black line. After all, they were well aware that this year's Emperor Guang would play in the All-China Championship with their own tactics and an exaggerated score of 198.8. As for the little Karami from Baishuiguan High School who doesn't even have a camera, hope is probably just hope. Chapter 004. Control Guard Genius, Xuegong and Zhen. You are listening at novel full.audio. The source has no content or has errors.